Hi, good evening, team. Today I'm going to walk you through the ISTQB training demo session. It's a little bit about me. I'm a corporate trainer and I provide trainings on ISTQB multiple type of certifications, ISTQB foundation level, ISTQB Agile Foundation, ISTQB Test Manager advanced level. I do provide the training on the defect management system and multiple types of tool-based, CRM-based QA training like Siebel testing, how to do a Siebel testing, how to do a Salesforce testing, and the list goes on. I'm having more than 18 years of experience and worked till vice president level of QA and testing in one of the multinational company. So let's get started. So in today's agenda, we have one of the topic of ISTQB syllabi, and this topic says fundamental of testing. So fundamental of testing is one of the chapter available for the software testing foundation level exam. When you get started with your course, this is very much foremost and the first most chapter you'll come across. So I will quickly tell you about that how easy this chapter is and make this chapter easy for you, right? So this covers why testing is necessary, what is testing, fundamental of testing process, the psychology behind testing. So in this curriculum, as I said, I'm our agenda is one of the topics. So you can see there are 6 chapters involved in the software testing foundation level exam. These 6 chapters are fundamental of testing, testing throughout the software development life cycle, static testing, test techniques, test management, tool support for testing. So as the name suggests and says, few chapters are very interesting. When you come across the test management, you will feel the power of test management. When you go through the testing techniques, you will learn about the new methodologies or the methodologies that you already know. You will revive that and how to apply on your daily current projects, the agile or the scrum based project. So the duration of the course is 24 hours, 8 hours each day, and we will cover everything within the 3 days. Based on your time availability, we can also break these 24 hours into weekly sessions. Depends on your confirm comfort level. As I said, that these 6 chapters, as you can see, are divided with these topics. So we are going to cover the fundamental of testing. What is testing? Why testing is necessary? 7 testing principles, psychology behind testing, and testing throughout the development and life cycle, static testing, testing technique, test management, tool support. So much elaborated form of the content, the syllabi. This course you can contact MindMajix and they will share everything about you, about the course, and you can get started. So ISTQB training, what is the value it's in the market? Why we should do ISTQB, right? As ISTQB, the name suggests that it's International Software Testing and Quality Board, right? Qualification board that is now available worldwide. It's available in 71 countries, including India, and in every country they have a board, a software testing board, like India testing board called ITB, the Ukrainian testing board called UKTB, right? American testing board called ASTQB, UK testing board UKTB, right? Similarly, every country have their own testing board registered by ISTQB, and we are getting internationally certified. So ISTQB has defined their foundation level CTFL, as a software tester scheme, and with over more than 2,40,000 certification for the CTFL apart. has become the de facto of the worldwide standard. When we say de facto of worldwide standard means we are talking in the same software testing language, the same software testing terminologies that can be understandable across the globe, right? Whatever terminology we are using in India, it is the same terminology we are using in Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, America, right? So candidate who clears this certification, right, holds a lot of value in the market. When you go and represent yourself in front of organization and tell that you are ISTQB certified, people will come to know that okay, you are familiar with all the testing methodology. You know about the daily day-to-day templates that we use for software testing. You know the terminologies, you know the background, you know the vision behind the testing, right? And the topmost thing is the attitude towards the testing that has been developed with the help of this certification. So ISTQB training certification, this is the career path I'll walk you through. So as you can see, this is CTFL, Software Testing Foundation level. The moment you clear this certification, the all the doors of Agile core, specialist level, core level, and Agile level gets opened for you, right? After doing CTFL, you can go for Agile Tester Foundation level to get yourself Agile, certified. If you want to move to foundation level in the specialized area, let's say you want to become a UAT tester, you can go for certified acceptance testing. If you are a load testing person who are running load runner or JMeter or other load testing software, you can go for performance testing certification. You can go for mobile application testing. This is very much necessary nowadays. If you are an automation tester, you are using Selenium or you are using JMeter or Swagger, Postman, right? Any tool that is helping you in your day-to-day automation using mobile automation, right? You can go for this certification. Or if you don't want to go into the specialization area, you can go for a test manager role, test analyst role, or technical test analyst role. The moment you will grab each certification, clear each certification, you are increasing your, market availability, your demand in a market. People will understand and recognize these software certifications, right? So let's quickly get started. And as you say, after finishing the course at MindMajix, you will going to get the certification from MindMajix that is this is a certification of completion. And when you clear the examination, you will get another certification after the exam from your country's testing board. If you are in America, ASTQB will issue you one certificate. If you are in UK, UKTV will issue one certificate, and if you are in India, ITB will issue one certificate on behalf of istqb.org. So in today's training, these are one of the random topics that we're going to cover or talk about. Fundamentals of testing, as I elaborated earlier, testing throughout the software development life cycle, test management, some part if time persists, right? So in fundamentals of testing, a tester learns the basic principle related to testing, the reason why testing is necessary, what is the vision and objective behind testing, the principles of successful testing, test processes, major activities, work products, right? And testing throughout the life cycle. So it's a daily need, of the software or agile based software, scrum based software project where we continuously do testing, from one round of testing to another, from unit testing to smoke to sanity testing, sanity to functional testing, functional to UAT testing, and after the live or production testing, right? So it's the testing throughout the software development life cycle that you're going to come in a much more detail when you will join the course. So, as the first chapter says, the fundamentals of testing, and the first topic is why testing is necessary. So, why testing is necessary basically? We are into the era where we test everything. You know, if we just talk about in general the layman's language, when we go to Walmart, right? What we do? We go to the display area, we select our product, we read the ingredients, we read the certifications of that product, that how many is it certified by FPO, is it certified by the food authority, you know is it ag mark or is it FDA approved, right? It's a food grade or not, right? So what is that? Those are the certification bodies that are providing certificate to your food item, and by reading that you find out that okay, it's a reliable product, right? And you get it cashed, you get it purchased and utilize it. So it's a very minor example that okay, in even it's required, the testing is required in the grocery shop or in a supermarket, in a Walmart, right? When we go to banking systems, right, again there is a testing is required, the security checks are required. you know your ATM machine, if you will not put the correct password, it will not get allow you to move ahead, right? Because it is tested properly, it's tested 1,000 times before you are getting access of that ATM machine, right? So that by inserting a wrong password, your account must not get open. You need to insert the correct password, right? By some advanced ATMs are also you are getting access by the thumb impressions nowadays, right? Or by your finger impression, right? So those are also been regressively tested, that okay, if it recognized only and only your fingerprint expression, right? It must not get give access of your account by somebody's else's thumb impression or a fingerprint expression. So there is a requirement everywhere, and that's why we say why testing is necessary. I think by these two examples you have already got it. Software used everywhere. It's used in banking and finance system. It's used in retail industry. It used in center and local government bodies, transport industries, medicine, home entertainment. Right? We have all experienced software system failing. You know, so it get fails also. Sometimes you go to ATMs. The ATMs are giving some error or throwing some error on the screen, and it's not allowing you to take out your money or check the account balance or change the password. you know it's throwing some null pointer exception or some message that is not understandable by the layman. Similarly, you go to you know your website to book a plane ticket or a train ticket, right? And while booking your ticket, you get some error, your screen gets blanked, your transaction gets hanged, right? Or it says server is not reachable, the terminal is not reachable, right? At times it happens. So all those failures, you know something down the line we have all came across, right? So that's why the testing is becomes more important, and it's more necessary to get tested. So as I talked about the failure, so when things go wrong, right? And why things go wrong? What happens when things go wrong? So due to system failure can lead to human injury or death. If the software installed on the aeroplane panel, where from that panel the entire flights get operated, the flights get take off, all the landing gears, the engines get controlled. If that panel is not properly tested by the software engineers and the technical engineers, it can lead to the system failure or operation failure during the flight, and the flight can be crashed. Similarly, a missile system, if the proper calculations are not properly tested, the launching calculations I'm talking about, the parabolic path that follows by the missile system, the accuracy of a distance. Let's say, uh, US wants to test their missile system for 100 kilometers range. And when you set that range within your software that is operating your missile system, and it might be a chances that if it's not tested properly, right, if that system was not tested properly and directly installed at the army base, then instead of 100 kilometers or 100 miles, you know the system will going to drop the missile at a 75 miles, or maybe beyond 100 miles, 125 miles, 150 miles, right? So it is not reaching the correct target. So missile system malfunctioning. Similarly, legal actions and associated with the cost, right? If the company have not delivered the software on time, on budget, and as per the requirement defined, that means a contractual obligations that is signed by the vendor company is not achieved, it's failing, then that companies gets penalized in the court of law, right? So it is becomes very very important for each tester to take their job very very seriously, because if you are not going to test the software, it might leads to a technological disaster, it might leads to human injury, it might leads to a penalty that needs to be paid by your company if you'll not deliver the things on time, right? And definitely when these first three will going to happen, it will going to bring the bad face of the company or the vendor company or the supplier, so there will be a loss of face in the market, right, if the things will not going to be tested properly. Causes of a software failure: we are human. While testing the software, we miss something. So a mistake created by a developer or a functionality missed by a tester, a human can make a mistake. So when human is doing a mistake, then an error is occurring. An error is a human action that produces an incorrect result. Incorrect result, that means the result that is not defined in your agreement, a result that is not defined inside your software requirement specification document. Incorrect result, right, or a functionality that is not defined inside your business requirement document, but the software is behaving and giving you some misbehavior, right? So that is called an error. So error can cause or lead to defect, right? So we called the defect in the three different names. Some says, okay, we got fault in a system. Some tester will say, okay, we got defect in a system. A project manager or a product owner says, okay, we got bugs, we got a lot of bugs, right? So everyone is talking about the error. That error can be due to a human failure or a system failure, right? So defect is a flaw in a component or a system that can cause the component or system to fail to perform its function, right? That means the required functionality is not behaving the way it should be. So defect can be in the software, it can be inside the system, and it can be inside your business requirement document or software requirement specification, right? It can be inside your DFDs or flowcharts. We have to keep discussing, we have to keep exploring the stories, the epics, the requirement during our grooming session. I'll tell you in the course that what is the meaning of grooming, right? Error, defect, and failure. So defect occur because human beings are fallible. You know, we are like that. We can make a mistake. We can miss a requirement. And we are when we are making a mistake, when we are missing a requirement, it is coming up into us, right, in front of us, in the form of a defect or a failure. And why we miss the requirement, why we miss the testing? Because of time pressure. There is a pressure that, okay, you have to deliver this project or this story within 2 days or by end of the day. Right now you are under pressure. You are covering only the prime requirement. You are not covering all the requirement. You have divided your requirement into P1, P2, P3s, high, medium, low, right? And due to time pressure, you are only covering the requirement that is a marked with high or P1. Or the code is so complex that you are not able to understand and you are not doing a proper testing. There is a complex infrastructure, that means multiple systems are embedded nowadays, right? You will see, earlier we have a one tier architecture, two tier architecture, or three tier architecture. Now we have a multi tier architecture. Database is maintained by some other company. API is maintained by some other company. Cloud is maintained by some other country, country and company. Integration is done by someone else. GUI is created by someone else, right? Content is created by someone else. So a lot of integration. It's a very very complex infrastructure, and you have to test everything. Now that's not a joke, right? So the changing in the technology, the new technology is emerging. Like, if you talk about the Salesforce, the very it is very vast. Someone is working on Salesforce Development Cloud. Someone is working on Salesforce Community Cloud. Someone is working on Salesforce, Medical Cloud, or a Pharma Cloud, right? Somebody is working on the Commerce Cloud, right? So there are so many clouds available within the Salesforce. What you're going to cover and what you're not going to cover, and that cloud is integrated with the multiple systems, as I talked about. We are humans; we can miss, but we that's why there are leads, there are managers who keep checks on us and keep reminding us that, and keep motivating us that, okay, follow the requirement, keep reading the requirement, keep creating the checklist, cover all the checklists, write all the test cases, and so that we will not miss anything. So now let's summarize again. A defect may result in failure. A failure is a deviation of the component or a system from its expected delivery, service, or result. Failure can be caused by environmental condition, right? That means we talked about the time pressure and the complexity. We are here talking about the radiation, magnetism, and electronic field that I will share in more details because the very interesting story behind the each case study attached with radiation, magnetism, and electronic field that you'll come to know when you join the course. So pollution can cause faults in firmware, influence the execution of software by changing the hardware condition, and all these things can lead to a failure. So changing the hardware condition means, I'm talking about, let's say, during the course of your automation script, if RAM is get heated, or you are running some program in the background that is utilizing the 50% of your RAM speed, right? Or there is a fluctuation in the signal, right? Instead of 100 Mbps signal, you are only getting 50 Mbps, and 50 Mbps is utilized somewhere. So we are changing the hardware condition while running our script. That is going to lead to a different results in performance testing. So error can manifest to defect. Defect may result in failure, right? And error is due to a human action. Defect is due to a flaw in the component or a system or a requirement. and failure is a deviation of the requirement, deviation of a component. So these are the mind maps points, that okay, error, fault, and failure is due to human mistake. Defect leads to the result of error, bug, or fault. Failure is related to occurs when software is run and it fails to do what it should do. So the role of a testing, right? Role of a testing is to reduce the risk in the system, reduce the risk in the food product that we are purchasing from the Walmart, reduce the risk of using ATM machine, that you will not get a shock when you touch the ATM screen. You will get your ATM cards back when you insert your card inside the machine. The machine will not hold the card for the lifetime, right? Or the card must not be get damaged on the use. It is the machine is not breaking it or cracking it, right? It is, you know, disbursing the correct amount of currency, right? So all these things, is a part of role of testing. That what is the theme, what is the vision behind the testing, what is the role of testing that we're going to do by finding the correct defects, right? By meeting the contractual requirements. So we keep checking by writing checklist whether are we meeting the requirement, right? Is the VRD is covered? Is the SRS is covered, right? So testing can help us to measure the quality of software. Quality of a software means, when, again, let's go back to our Walmart thing, right? If any food product that is ag mark or FDA approved, right, we buy that product, right? If it's a ISO certified, we buy that electronic product. So the quality is defined: FPO certified, FDA certified, ISO certified, ISI certified. The moment we go get all those logos, GMP certified on our medicines, right? FDA certified on our medicine, right? So the degree to which a component or a system or a process meets a specified requirement or user or customer needs and expectation is quality, right? So is your defect covering the requirement failure? Is your defect covering the non-functional behavior, right? So during multiple of type of testing, during the UAT testing, UAT bug, during functionality testing, functionality bug, during unit testing, unit bug, right? So multiple type of defect phases and multiple type of defect we're going to cover, that will discuss in more detail when you join the course. So testing gives the confidence, right? If when we see all those logos on a product packaging, it gives us confidence. Okay, right? We must buy it. We must use it, right? And when we buy cosmetic products, it says it's not tested on animals. It's completely vegetarian, right? It is safe on human skin. So because they say it has been tested, so we go by you know those logos, those certification, and we build the trust in our mind, and we say, okay, it's giving us a confidence. Let's go for this cosmetic product. Let's buy this phone because it's tested. Let's buy new iPhone 12 because it's greatly tested by Apple. Testing and quality both goes hand in hand. A properly designed test that passes reduces the overall risk in the system. If you have covered all the requirement mentioned in SRS and BRD, and your SRS and BRD is completely converted into test cases without leaving a single line, that okay, so you says there is 100% test case coverage. So when that test case will going to execute, that means 100% test case execute will be going to be executed. The number of bugs that will be gets raised by those execution of those test cases is been fixed, is been retested, and it will going to, at the end of the day, it will going to give the confidence. And what is this? It's reducing the risk at minimum, right? So you cannot reduce risk 100%, but yes, you can minimize the risk up to certain limit, right? So a factor that could result in future negative consequences, right, usually expressed as a impact or and likelihood. They say that okay, this software is future proof, this cosmetic product is future proof, that okay, nobody will going to harm on their screen if they are using this cosmetic product. If you are having a paracetamol, so that paracetamol is tested more than 10,000 times, on more than 10,000 people, right? And they are doing fine and healthy. So now it is safe because the paracetamol is created by the multiple vendors, right? We know now nowadays, right? So quality is maintained, a risk is reduced every time when we cover the complete requirement, complete business requirement, complete software requirement specification. So as Mr. Bill Hazel says, quality is not intangible. The purpose of testing is to make quality visible. Testing is the measurement of a software quality. This is our, the statements made by our quality gurus that we have to follow, because they have not made these statements like that. It's years of experience behind that, right? So why exhaustive testing is impossible? We cannot cover everything. As I said, we are humans. We made mistakes, right? So exhaustive testing is impossible, right? Because it requires a lot of resources, human resources, hardware resources, infrastructure resources. It is expensive, right? Nobody wants to spend that much money, right? And it is impractical also, all right? I'll tell you in my upcoming slide. So in any form of testing, it is impossible to achieve total confidence. But yes, you can say 98% confidence or 99% confidence. There is 1 or 2% confidence, or the risk factors might not be covered. The only exhaustive testing is there is so much testing that the tester is exhausted. Again, it's a made statement made by Bill Hazel. So why don't we test everything? Because system has 20 screens, and each screen has 4 menus. Each menus have 3 options, and each options have 10 fields and 2 type of inputs and 100 possible values in the input. So if we multiply all those things, that means 480,000 test cases a person need to be written, right? And it's tough to cover that thing. So test length will be 1 second, then the duration will be 17.7 days. If the test length will be 10 seconds, that means one test case you're going to cover in 10 seconds, 34 weeks. And if the test case is taking 10 minutes, then 40 years you need to test the thing. So it's humanly impossible, right? So that's why exhaustive testing is impossible, right? So we cover the prime functionality, at least what is mentioned in your software requirement specification and what is mentioned inside your business requirement document. We must cover that thing. As I said, why we test? Because software is likely to have fault. That's why we are testing. To learn about the reliability of software, to fill the time between and the delivery of the software. No, that's wrong. To prove that software has no fault. No, we are doing a testing to maintain a quality, right? And definitely to find the defect, to fit for purpose, mitigate risk, maximize quality, prevent defects. All those are the attributes of testing that make sure that why we is testing necessary and why we test. Again, there is a mind maps that why do we test, so you can go through and follow these mind maps. So these type of mind maps will going to provide you against every chapters, so that just by looking at this mind maps, you can recall the entire chapter. You can recall the entire topic that will going to help you in clearing the exam. So how much testing is enough? As I told that, okay, the coverage of SRS and the coverage of BRD to reduce the risk and to reduce the financial implication on your company, right? So that your company will not get penalized in the court of law because you have not delivered the project on time, on budget, right? So how much testing is enough? You can read through, right? Risk analysis should be used to determine what to test in each component. What to test and how you will make sure that what to test, because you will want to relate the test to the SRS or BRD. The unacceptable risk would say we must test, an acceptable one perhaps not to test. So testing is a risk control activity that provides feedback to the stakeholder. Stakeholder means by showing our executed test cases, by showing our test results to on-site team, it will give them the confidence. Okay, these people have executed 10,000 test cases this week, and out of those 10,000, 900, 9,980 test cases are passed. Only 20 test cases are failed, and there are mild defects attached to it, cosmetic defects attached to it. So it is not leading to any functionality failure. So that will give the confidence to the stakeholders or the client, right? So that's why we make sure that how much is enough and how much is not enough, right? So what will be the exit criteria? Exit criteria, as I said, just said, right? You have executed 10,000 test cases. Out of that, 9,980 test cases are passed. 20 test cases failed with a mild or the cosmetic defect. So it's the exit time, right? The set of generic and the specific condition. And what are set of generic and specific condition is your test cases agreed upon with the stakeholders. That means the client is saying, client is getting the confidence by seeing those past results for permitting a process to be officially completed. And they will permit it. Why they will permit it? Because those 20 test cases that are failing, it just says that on one mobile the pink color is coming in a dark pink, and on other mobile it is coming as a light pink, right? So based on the device change, a little bit of the RGB factor is changing on the screen, so there is no functionality failure, right? So such bugs can be entertained and can be taken in the upcoming sprint or the later phase of the project. So it's the exit time and you can release the product. So a definition and a misconception. There is a lot of definition or misconception in people's mind, but as what ISTQB says, what is testing? The process consisting of all life cycle activity, both static and dynamic, concerned with planning, preparation, and evaluation of software product and related work product to determine that they satisfy specified requirement, to demonstrate that they are fit for purpose, and to detect defect. Sounds complex? It's not, right? So if I summarize that thing, as I summarized earlier, there are very, very two important documents in your life and in your software life cycle, in your agile life cycle, that are SRS and BRD. And you have to make sure that your SRS and BRD is fit for purpose and to detect defects and that there are no defect. And if there was a defect, it's been already fixed, right? So that's the kind of a coverage just for now to gives you a glimpse of what will be the course will be more like. We will talk about more in more details about the misconception when you join the course, and we will give you the full-fledged templates. We will make you feel that okay, now you know the knowledge, that you can write global templates, you can follow the global processes, terminologies, actions that is followed across the globe. That means the same process that you are following in India is been followed in New Zealand, it's been followed in Canada, it's been followed in Australia or Singapore or some other place, right? Project one, as I said, we will make sure that you are writing your test cases correctly. You are following the international templates. Project two, test planning and test strategy creation, that the global level documents on test planning and test strategy. Project three, the report management means what report you release every week or on daily basis as a tester. What report you will release or send to your upline as a test lead. As a test manager, what type of templates you are using? As a AVP, what type of template you are using, right? What to show and what not to show in your reports, right? So all those things is a project three that will going to give you templates so that you can use your life in lifetime, and these templates are acceptable globally, right? So ISTQB training lab setups, you need a good high speed laptop with an internet connection. You have some minimum 1 year of knowledge into software testing industry. That means you are a tester with 1 year of experience or 2 years of experience. That's a minimum requirement, right? If you are a university graduate and you want to do a certification, still you can do it, but you know you have to be more attentive during the course of that in time, right? System requirement, your Windows 10 or later PC, right? Or a Mac machine you can utilize. For ISTQB training additional document, you can go to istqb.org and you can download the glossary that will contains all the definition, terminology that is been utilized internationally. Mock interviews, yes, we will be discussing about all interview questions and answers. We will make you ready to face any type of interview and crack them easily. Definitely you will crack them, right? Demo questionnaires, yes, we will give you a few questionnaire or dumps that will help you in clearing the exam. So thank you. You know, that's about the today's training session, and we will entertain all your queries and questions when you join the course. So let's welcome to the ISTQB foundation level training. Thank you.